All right, folks, we have major bullish signals coming across the timeline today. More acquisitions, in fact, the largest acquisition in crypto history. More crypto funds bringing in billions of dollars of new investment capital, and continued growth at companies like Ripple that continue to set the standard, driving growth back to the XRP ecosystem. And some statements here from Brad Garlinghouse at Consensus today, all in today's update. This is why you keep on coming back. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get you straight on into the update. Everything else is at my website, zachrector.com. 81,500 is where Bitcoin runs up to today. Nice little green candle, nice little pump for XRP, still in the consolidation here. Altcoins not catching much of a bid right now. It's been mostly inflows back into Bitcoin, with Bitcoin being the leader, running this thing back above 81,000. And we will see if the momentum is for real or if this is a bull trap rally. I still do have my concerns on some of the macro, Middle East conflict, etc., but we'll continue to update you guys on that. Let's get into the bullish signals that we're seeing here in the digital asset space. Classic bottom signals, more acquisitions, more money coming in, and hopefully here soon, Clarity Act. Brad Garlinghouse speaking at Consensus today in Miami. He says, yes, we will get the Clarity Act. So Brad Garlinghouse still hopeful that we're getting it, that it's coming. And we just had the compromise that was announced last week, where essentially you'll only be able to earn rewards on your stable coins for activity on said platform, or if you're engaging in liquidity provisions for DeFi. So you won't be able to earn yield on your stable coins that are just sitting idle. You'll have to be conducting some activity, some trading on the platform to be able to earn yield. So that was the big compromise, but that compromise brings us really to the final stages of getting this Clarity Act signed. So that was great. Great progress. Now we just need to get the markup done here in May, and we move one step closer to getting full regulations in the United States of America. Brad Garlinghouse reiterating that he's never been an XRP maxi. Tribalism is bad for our industry. Like I said, leading by example, setting the standard. Brad Garlinghouse, always a class act and always speaking on behalf and trying to benefit the entire crypto industry, not just what's best for Ripple, not just what's best for XRP, but it continues to get better for Ripple and XRP in the broader crypto space. More money's coming in, more money from traditional finance is coming in, and today we get the announcement of the largest acquisition in the digital asset space yet. Bullish, the institutional grade digital asset platform, today announced it has entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Equinity, a leading global transfer agent and provider of mission-critical shareholder services, in a transaction valued at $4.2 billion. The combination creates the global transfer agent for tokenized securities and aims to position Bullish to lead the shift towards blockchain-native capital markets infrastructure. Let's get Brad Garlinghouse's comments right here.
Couple big headlines overnight. I say this, the Bullish deal, obviously the biggest crypto deal ever. I think is also an amazing example, I think not dissimilar to some of the acquisitions Ripple has made, of traditional finance bridging to DeFi crypto, where Equinity, I think, had zero activity around all things crypto, tokenization, real world assets, and now being partnered with Bullish. I think it's a big unlock for both companies, and not surprisingly, the stock's way up on the news. Couple big headlines overnight.
Massive acquisition here, $4.2 billion. That eclipses the acquisitions that Ripple made last year, right? They made a couple billion-dollar acquisitions, which really topped the charts and showed that Ripple was serious about growing out their full financial suite of products and infrastructure. But Bullish stepping it up with a $4.2 billion acquisition here, and this just accelerates the tokenization process. We talked about it in yesterday's second update. I dropped 2 updates yesterday. If you're missing our content, by the way, make sure you hit that notification bell. You might be subscribed, which you should be. Thank you very much. But also hit that notification bell so you make sure YouTube is notifying you when we drop the updates. And we talked about how the DTCC is getting ready to go live with the tokenization of securities in July, and that Ripple has been chosen amongst 50 other different companies to join in that initiative. So we're past proof of concept, we're past speculation, we're now just going live. And that acquisition by Bullish is a step in the right direction. Now, we're not done. We're not done. A16Z, which is one of the largest investment firms that's been throwing money at crypto, they just raised money for their fifth fund, $2.2 billion, saying that crypto is entering a more mature adoption phase. Andreessen Horowitz crypto arm previously raised $350 million in 2018, $515 million in 2020, $2.2 billion in 2021, and a record $4.5 billion in 2022, and they aren't done. They're back. And you can see here that they weren't scared. They did raise $4.5 billion in the 2022 bear market, and this is what OGs do, right? This is my third bear market. I'm still buying. Am I raising a fund that's worth $2.2 billion? No, but I'm throwing my $20 at crypto, right? And it's all relative, but it's to showcase that those who are real believers are still here and they're doubling down and tripling down on their investments. I love to see the speculators go away. In the tourists, the crypto tourists, some of them content creators, right? When it's time to pump everything up, it's all hype, it's all money. The checks are coming in. Let me shill this coin. Let me shill this crap. And then the music stops, the party's over, and a lot of these guys fade into irrelevancy. And meanwhile, we just keep plugging away, focused on fundamentals, and we've set ourselves up not to overextend ourselves during the hype times so that we're prepared to still be deploying capital during the down markets and the best times to buy these assets, which is right now, right? We've bottomed out here at $1.12 for XRP, went down to $60K for Bitcoin, and we've just been accumulating during this chop sideways in this moment. We aren't putting together $2.2 billion funds like A16Z, but we throw our $20 into the mix. Now, this might be viewed as a bearish signal by some folks. The fact that Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong just announced that they're going to be laying off 14% of their staff today. I actually view this as bullish, though, because it's the space is maturing. The company is maturing. And a lot, half of the story here, one, they cite the bear market and having to reduce costs. I know, talking with some of our partners and some of the things that we see coming across our desk and the data that we get to look at, that trading volumes are down. And these exchanges rely on trading volume, right? So for a lot of these platforms, when you're not moving money, they're not making money, which is why they're constantly shilling you new crap coins. Hey, we just launched crap coin. This new crap coin today. We have another new crap coin coming for you tomorrow. Get ready. You can be the first one to invest in this new piece of crap that paid a listing fee and that we want you to throw some money at so we can make our trading fee. I'm not attacking Coinbase. I'm just explaining the model. By the way, this is, and the incentive is aligned with platforms that do this, who only charge trading fees and no AUM fees. Right, that's why I work with Caleb and Brown. That's why I work with iTrust Capital. These are platforms that aren't going to be charging me any fees while my money does sit there. And I only am going to be charged money when I do go trade. But the thing that I like about platforms like iTrust Capital, Caleb Brown, and the ones that I work with is they're not trying to shove a bunch of crap down our throat like some of these other exchanges who will throw any crap in front of their customers if the company pays a check to get listed. That's my way of showing my displeasure in the amount of crap that I've seen listed on Coinbase over the past couple years. All of that to say, they cite the bear market and having to reduce costs as one reason for why they're reducing 14% of their headcount. But then the second reason is AI. It's changing how they work. It's changing how everybody works. And so that's the second reason why they cite. Now, I believe that AI is a convenient excuse for why some companies are reducing headcount that otherwise, wasn't justified anyways. But AI is a nice excuse, and it shows it's like all these other companies that are rebranding as an AI company, then their stock pumps, right? If you reduce headcount, your stock pumps in this market, which is kind of sick, but that's the perverse way that this market moves these days. Oh, somebody's laying off 10, 20% of their staff. That's bullish. It's more to the bottom line, and the stock pumps. In similar fashion, if you say that your layoffs are AI induced, it can help your stock. I haven't seen what Coinbase stock is doing today, but I'm just noting that AI seems to be a convenient excuse for many companies to reduce headcount that wasn't justified anyways. All of this to say, this is a bullish signal. This is what you see at the bottom. You see companies going bankrupt, companies going bust. You see companies getting involved in lawsuits. We just saw World Liberty Financial suing Justin Sun for defamation. That's a bottom signal. These are all bottom signals. And this is part of healing. It's part of a purge, a cleansing that I argued our crypto space needed. And I'm very excited to see us recover on the other side. And this is what we're seeing with companies like Ripple, which they're using AI as a reason to keep on growing. CEO Brad Garlinghouse says AI is driving growth at Ripple, not layoffs. Quote, the opportunity is so big. We're not using AI to reduce headcount. They're still growing, making acquisitions, growing the team, expanding their licenses to 5-6 dozen different licenses that they now have. It's impressive. And it's exactly what I want to be investing in and the opportunities that I'm looking for during bear markets. Who's still shipping? Who's still showing up? Who's not gone into hiding? Who's not quiet? Sometimes during the bear markets, some of these guys, they go into hiding, whether it be a crypto project, a content creator, whatever. You can't seem to find them. And Brad Garlinghouse hasn't left. The XRP family didn't leave. We didn't surrender. And we just continue to grow despite this bear market. Now, when do we start to see the 13 trillion from G Treasury move on chain? When do we start to see Ripple Prime move on chain? Brad Garlinghouse giving a bold prediction at Consensus here today. Take a listen.
I mean, these are big, ranging from Fortune 50 to mid-sized companies who are benefiting from a dashboard to manage their liquidity, to manage all of the interactions with bank accounts around the world. That's a great business that's growing, but it is bringing them along the journey gently. So, okay, your American Airlines making a fuel payment into the Peruvian sol. Okay, today that's going to take you 4 days and it's going to cost you this much because there's only one correspondent bank that'll enable that. Tomorrow it's like, oh, we could just, in a UI, in the interface of G Treasury, now Ripple Treasury, presenting, hey, we can do that in real time at this cost, and having a treasurer who's managing that payment make that trade-off. And it's going to be crawl, then walk, and then run. And those 13 trillion, I'll go out on a limb and say 5 years from now, I'll say 30% of that in 5 years will be on chain in some way. And I think that is the opportunity. I think it's also the opportunity, Equinity. Like, I think the powerfulness of like accelerating adoption by buying the largest, I think, transfer agent.
Yeah, and he's talking about that Bullish deal, buying the largest transfer agent. But right there, you get a bold prediction from Brad Garlinghouse. And by the way, this should, give everybody, temper our expectations, because a lot of people are taking the G Treasury and the Ripple Prime flows and saying it all is moving on chain today, right? XRP is going to start flowing with 15, 16 trillion today, and it shoots XRP to $1,000 tomorrow. We broke this down yesterday, actually, where we talked about those flows and how RLUSD is being implemented as collateral and in the payment flows on both G Treasury and Ripple Prime. But we noted that it's not happening all the way now, right? That the door has been opened and we can start to move some of that collateral to RLUSD. We can start to move some of those flows to RLUSD, which is on the XRP ledger. Doesn't replace XRP. It's a flow of liquidity on the XRP ledger, which is what we want. But Brad Garlinghouse just gave you a bold prediction, but also one that tempers our expectations. We're not moving all of the G Treasury and all of the Ripple Prime flows to XRP tomorrow. He says it's going to be about 30% of that 13 trillion at G Treasury over the next 5 years. Now that's still 3, 4, 5 trillion over the next 5 years coming on chain to the XRP ledger, right? We got to understand that we are making the progress. We are going to see that growth. You are going to see the price appreciation in XRP. But don't jump to $1,000 XRP just based off of, oh, the addressable market is this. Let's assume that that's coming to the XRP ledger and XRP tomorrow, and that makes my dreams of $1,000 XRP come true. Your dreams of $1,000 XRP may still come true. Just give it a little bit of time. And I think a lot of us can just say, pretty conservatively in this community that even a $10, $20, $30 XRP is going to be more than life-changing and generational wealth for a lot of us big bag holders. A lot of new folks coming in. Welcome to the community. Keep on stacking, keep on building. I understand that $10, $20, $30 XRP might not let you retire and achieve all of your dreams, but understand that that return, that ROI would still be one of the best of your lifetimes. So understand that and focus on what you can control, which is stacking as much of these assets as possible while they're cheap, discounted below market value. Let the market catch up, and then you will be in a better position come next bull run when you've stacked up that XRP, when you've stacked up those other positions, and you can sell them off into a $10, $20, $30 price. If you need to, you could borrow against it, which is what we're going to be doing. But then there are other positions that will be rotating from, other coins that will trade back into XRP, back into assets that we treat as reserve currencies on our balance sheet. Gold, silver, XRP. We like real estate for preserving wealth. And of course, we run businesses and build and scale businesses as well too. That's what our community has been focused on during the good times, during the bad times, just like Ripple, just like XRP. We never surrender. We never give up. And these are major bullish signals that are arriving for XRP in the broader crypto market. I know we're wearing thin, the patience, the frustration, it's hard, but you can see what's coming on the other side of this. And it's literally trillions of dollars coming on chain to the XRP ledger. Price appreciation to follow. Stay tuned for more. And if you appreciate what we're doing, please help us out by liking this video on the way out. And a quick word from our sponsor, which we have two. The first sponsor is yours truly. I did want to mention that I have on my Brad Garlinghouse tattoo shirt. I love this one. It's one of my favorites. And so that's available at my website right there, zachrector.com, if you want the XRP family merch, like the hats, the Brad Garlinghouse t-shirt. This is the tattoo that he supposedly has. I need to see proof of it, though. Does Brad Garlinghouse really have this tattoo? And then our other sponsor is, of course, I Trust Capital. And I'm just really excited about this new treasury account that they've rolled out. This is for your business. For some of you guys, you made an LLC to hold your digital assets or other alternative investments. This is the perfect solution for you because they're not going to be charging you any AUM or monthly fees. For your business, your trust, your nonprofit, or any other entity that you have, you can allocate corporate capital to cryptocurrencies and precious metals with institutional grade custody, no monthly fees, and that US-based client support that you love. And so we have them linked up down below. You'll get that $100 funding bonus when you use my link. But this is now one of 3 products that they have. They have the IRA. We love that one. They have the premium custody account, secure the bags, and then now the treasury account for your corporate balance sheet. Our sponsor, I Trust Capital, will take care of you guys. $100 funding bonus linked up down below. We'll see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.